Good day, my name is Angelo. This is your most preferred YouTube channel, Nation Voice Tower. It keeps you updated on issues pertaining to politics in Nigeria and outside Nigeria. Thanks for joining us. Yes, first on the list of my updates is an expose, as usual. Alright, now this is the Christmas period, or these are festive periods, alright? And the Christmas day or Christmas season is fast approaching. In fact, is already here. And we've had lots of, preparational activities going on in different homes. But in the National Assembly, something else is taking place, all right? Now, senators in the National Assembly and members of the House of Representatives have allegedly come together to share some particular amounts of money. Now, we are not against the fact that the National Assembly decided to share some amounts of money. These amounts of money were spearheaded by Senator Akpabio and Abbas, the Speaker of the House of Representatives. Now, the problem is this whopping amount of billions of naira that has been exposed to be shared for the National Assembly, talking about senators and members of the House of Representatives, was meant for their Christmas celebrations. But the problem now is this amount of money was padded in the 2023 supplementary budget that was signed recently. Why would they pad such a big amount of money, as big as 104.7 billion naira, in the budget of the 2023, the supplementary budget of 2023? Why? Because this particular part, that is where it interests me. This is public money, it's not for you. Why share it? And from the expose, you are going to hear how much millions these senators and these House of Representative members will be taking home after this or during this festive period. All right, that has given me cause to worry, because I can't imagine how we have people who are supposed to make laws for us. All right, and here they are because they have the opportunity and privilege to decide on what the budget of the country will be, and to approve or disapprove, the budget of the country. Then they would use that opportunity and eat up our national cake. That is very, very wrong. In this expose too, I am going to be exposing how investigations revealed over $275 million in the account of a 6-year-old child. This 6-year-old child is allegedly the son of Sabiu Yusuf. Sabiu Yusuf was the personal assistant to former President Muhammadu Buhari, who was also known as Sabiu Tunde Yusuf. And in this same expose, I'm going to be telling you how over 1.5 trillion naira was allegedly found in the account of Sabiu Tunde Yusuf, the same personal assistant of former President Muhammadu Buhari. He has been on the list of various anti-graft agencies for a long while now, since Buhari left government. And finally, investigations have proved that not only has he laundered money through his account, but even his 6-year-old son has a fair share of the national cake. Please, let us move together as we make this expose count, because if we don't make this expose count, then all these revelations would go down the drain. It has been revealed how members of the National Assembly are to share allegedly 104.7 billion naira as Christmas gifts approved by the Senate President Akpabio and Speaker of the House of Representatives Abbas. The fund was padded up in the 2023 supplementary budget recently approved and signed, while each of the 109 senators will cash out 300 million naira each. The 360 House of Representatives members will allegedly smile home with 200 million naira each. When the 104.7 billion naira was to be inserted into the supplementary budget, the Senate President warned the lawmakers to ensure it is not leaked to the media. In another development, the special investigator Jim Osayende Obaze and his committee allegedly discovered over $275 million in an account in a new generation bank belonging to 6-year-old son of a former personal assistant to former President Muhammadu Buhari, Sabiu Yusuf, who is also known as Tunde Sabiu Yusuf. In another news, another 1.5 trillion naira was allegedly traced to Sabiu Tunde Yusuf, a very influential member of the former President Muhammadu Buhari's government. Tinubu is currently negotiating using some influential Nigerians on how to refund the funds without being exposed. Because Tinubu has made his own stand clear, together with President Muhammadu Buhari and his wife Aisha Buhari, on how Sabiu Tunde Yusuf needs to be treated in order for him to return the alleged stolen funds from the Nigerian coffers. Bola Tinubu, the president, is actually making plans in order for Sabiu Tunde Yusuf to currently return these funds without being probed or exposed. Only recently, the National Security Advisor, Nuhu Ribadu, lamented that the current administration inherited a bankrupt country from the former President Muhammadu Buhari's government due to the large scale of looting that occurred in that administration. Alright, welcome back. If you're just joining us, this is still Nation's Voice Tower, your most preferred YouTube channel. Alright, well, on the expose, it's evident that Godswill Akpabio is running a sort of rubber stamp sort of Senate. Alright, no wonder they all opted for Akpabio and Abbas, who would also play ball. Right, so that is to say categorically that whatever these people are doing in the National Assembly is not of the interest of Nigerians. Alright, they can decide to pass on bills, pass on laws that seem to be in favor of Nigerians, but I can tell you now for free that from the different revelations and secret files we're getting from the National Assembly, from the both chambers, alright, you will be I will tell you for free that these people are not after the welfare of Nigerians. How can you allegedly share over 500 billion in a space of 3 months? This is 104.7 billion. Sometime a month ago or 2 months ago or thereabouts, there were amounts of money that were brought out, okay, in the range of 150 billion to, okay, sometime before 3 months ago, there were some amounts of money too, ranging to over 500 billion naira, all right, in the space of few months. Then if you're given 4 years on that seat as Senate President, House of Representatives Speaker and others, all right, that means you will really do much. You will do lots. You heard from the expose there that senators will be taking home 300 million each, and members of the House of Representatives will be taking home to 200 million each. This is very sad. Okay, this is sad. Over 300 members in the Senate and 109 members in the Senate and over 300 or thereabouts House of Representatives, members of the House of Representatives. That is very, very, that is too much. That is too outrageous. All right, having this money going down the drain every time there is a celebration or there is a recess period for the National Assembly is bad. Tunde Sabiu Yusuf has been in government and he used that particular opportunity to launder billions of naira and share amongst his family members and himself. Even his yet to be matured kid, a 6-year-old child, has been found with over $275 million, all right, in his account. This is something else. And one good thing is the anti-graft agencies know about this, but they keep their mouths shut and they don't go after these people because there are sort of embargoes or barriers that bar them from taking their own pound of flesh, or bar them from allowing justice to take its course on some sacred cows in the country. Bola Ahmed Tinubu, instead of arresting these people, is trying to negotiate. What is our negotiation all about in this particular case? If it has been proven, just as it has been proven, that this money was laundered by so person or XYZ person, Sabiu Tunde Yusuf, you arrest the person quickly without wasting any time, because when you do the arrest, others will take caution and know what to do next, or will take caution and bar themselves from embezzling public funds in their next venture. That is how it's done. When you set examples with few people, then others will take note. Well, I hope you enjoyed our expose there. Secondly, I would like to speak on the reactions of the electoral season from various people. First here, and the only person I'm bringing his reaction here is Jibrin Okutepa. Barrister Jibrin Okutepa He's a senior advocate of Nigeria. He was one of the counsels representing the Labour Party at the Presidential Elections Petitions Tribunal and the subsequent hearings in the Court of Appeal and Supreme Court, respectively. All right. So it happened that what happened at the during the electoral season caught his attention. So according to him, he thinks that INEC, from their dealings so far, have shown Nigerians that they are indeed not independent, as their name implies, Independent National Electoral Commission. And according to Jibril Okotepa, there is no independent institution in Nigeria. Please stay tuned for the interview.
There is no independent institution in Nigeria. In practical reality, anybody who tells you that INEC is independent would have, that's a story that you can tell to infants in Tale by Moonlight. In practical reality, no. Because there are some things that happens that shouldn't happen for an institution that is independent. When we talk about independence of institution, not in Nigeria, because there is no loyalty to the Federal Republic of Nigeria by those who have responsibility to hold to give loyalty to Nigeria. The loyalty is either those in power or those who have the capacity to dictate the tune of what you are supposed to do, popularly come to be regarded in Nigeria now as the cabals. There are cabals in our electoral jurisprudence. There are cabals in so many of our institutions that they have no respect for what is called democracy. Because democracy in Nigeria, for instance, is not a product of the sovereignty of the people. If it were so, we would have not had what we are having. INEC is more, and when I say INEC, I mean the staff, some of the staff, not all, and only if in a testimonial number of them, because the chairman of INEC, for instance, cannot be everywhere in the polling unit. Who did you recruit to go to the polling unit for purposes of conducting election? Do they obey the rules and regulations thrown out by INEC itself? Are we holding them accountable? Who did? Because if you recruit a stupid person to perform a job for you, then he performed the job stupidly, you are held responsible for it. So that's one. Now, when you talk about reform, I think the reform that we need, because judiciary is an important arm of government, and it is only arm of government that is an exclusive preserve of the members of the noble profession of law, the legal profession. Because our qualification is not just ordinary school certificate or its equivalent. We went to university, went to law school, we had code of conduct. There is, I will advocate for now, that both the legal profession, both the member of the bar and the bench should have character reform. We must reform our character. We must have a defined goal. Do we want justice in Nigeria, or we want judgment devoid of justice? Because when you have the misfortunes to prosecute election petition, the attitude of some colleagues in the courtroom leave much to be desired. Secondly, I think that our recruitment process is faulty. We recruit people not on the basis of, in some cases, on the basis of what they know or their strength of character, but on the basis of connection. And for me, when appointment to the bench has become hereditary in terms of religious hereditary, biological hereditary, social hereditary, political affinity, then the judiciary will face a calamitous consequences, just like we are facing now. So for us to get it right and go back to the golden age, the lobbying to be made judicial officers by political class and the power that be must stop. Let us have men and women of strong character who cannot, because of a pot of porridge, or because of the color of naira, or because of the color of dollar, or because of the air-conditioned cushion home somewhere, or the flight ticket to go holiday in cozy environment in overseas, who will not sell their conscience and give questionable judgments that will undermine democracy, because Nigerians are becoming very sophisticated, and let nobody tells me that the feelings of Nigerians on the street does not matter. We must be very careful.
All right. You know that Jibril Okutepa has been a senior, lawyer, and somebody who really has a voice, to lend when it comes to the judicial system in Nigeria, especially when it comes to electoral processes and electoral or tribunal cases. All right. That means he's really a voice to reckon with. So for him to come out and say this, you should know that he's really taking the governance and the electoral process into cognizance, because I told you earlier in my former update that whatever happened in the 2023 general elections has never been recorded in any electoral season in Nigeria. Yes, and that is the reason why we feel after this particular electoral season, Nigeria might actually, become something else, a nation that is governed without laws. Maybe a nation governed with dictatorship or monarchy or something else, because people will use the template of the 2023 general elections and, do the needful. You know what I mean? So let's hope it doesn't get to that point. All right. Finally, the Nigerian judiciary, according to Dr. Sam Amadi, an Arise News analyst, the Nigerian judiciary is not actually suffering from corruption. According to Sam Amadi, he feels that the Nigerian judiciary is suffering from a high level of incompetence. Incompetence to the point of irresponsibility. According to Sam Amadi, he is speaking from the point of view of seeing everything that the judiciary has done in different tribunals in different states as incompetence, and that is true. Please stay tuned for Sam Amadi.
First, it's a terrible time to be a lawyer, terrible time for the judiciary. I mean, too many things happen at the same time. So the image is not good, the perception is not good. I'm sure when we're going to chronicle this period, we'll say we've seen this kind of anomaly. I remember as a young lawyer, Chief Garify me, that this happened once, in fact, more grievous, when the Supreme Court in this case gave two different judgments, and Chief Garify took it up, and the Supreme Court had to come back to do some kind of formal clarification, maybe had an proceeding. Now, the first thing to do is to say, look, I read those areas about twice. They were different, they conveyed a different sense that the appeal succeeds, whereas the appeal didn't succeed. Clerical error typically would be things like what happened in the case of ABGA and Njoko and ABGA chairman, where instead of saying maybe the name of somebody, you put a different name. Yeah. But when you, in two sentences, seem to suggest clearly that an appeal succeeds, which you had said didn't succeed, you don't blame NNPP when they argue that maybe this was a rewrite. So the first point is it that the original decision was to allow the appeal, in which case the judgment was written to allow the appeal, and subsequently it was written, and then you left some of this smoking gun. That's one perspective. Now, the Court of Appeals perspective is that this is slip rule. I want to call it a slip rule, meaning error, clerical error. The court will have the right to rectify the records. So for me, I see three problems here. First, the tardiness. I mean, if you look at the whole process in which the Nigerian judiciary is not suffering only from corruption, which is now patent. Everyone knows that we are corrupt, unfortunately. Also, we see a high level of generalized incompetence to the point of irresponsibility. We saw a bit of that with the tribunal or the principal tribunal, where there were earlier communication about, we didn't get, the judgment had the imprint of APC legal team. Yeah. I mean, the tardiness is extremely frustrating and annoying, and has no dignity. This shouldn't have to the Court of Appeal. And don't forget that this is 14 days or more after the judgment. Nobody went back to read this, make the corrections. First, if you look at other jurisdictions, when this case happened, in less than a few minutes, it's uploaded on the electronic portal. So here, people have to complain. And when they now complain, it's discovered that even after 14 days of editing and looking at something, you still see this kind of terrible. So for me, the first takeaway is, look, probably we have too many recruitment error in human resource. We call it pure, previously unidentified recruitment error. We've put many people on the bench, really, perhaps, who don't have the qualification, the integrity, the competence, and even the presence of mind to do this job. This is really, whether it's error, intentional, or malicious, this is really a statement around generalizing competence of a unions type. So that's the first. The second will not be, people will go home and say, well, you know, this is about perception, not reality. People can go home and say, well, this actually, they actually wanted to allow this appeal. Last minute, they came back to write it and then couldn't do it, you know, very well. So anyhow you do it, this has damaged reputation, and it's a serious issue.
Okay, you watched Sam Amadi there, and he has been someone who actually speaks what he sees in politics, and we can't underestimate whatever statement he has to make as sort of analysis for the Nigerian judiciary in the aspect that they have really shown themselves, especially in this electoral season. All right, I have always quoted lots of big wigs in the Nigerian Bar Association for saying, you know, the courts should not be the final point where electoral victories are decided. All right, because election victories are supposed to be decided by the people, not in the courts. Hence the reason why I feel that maybe our constitution should be amended, or the electoral act should be amended rather. All right, or better still, we can still bring back the old proposals that were made by big wigs in the NBA, talking about Justice Muhammad Weiss and other electoral or tribunally inclined, or even other strong judiciary members of the judiciary that have come up over time in different governments, starting from Obasanjo's government, Goodluck's government, Yar'Adua's government, and all of that. Let us have a sort of, let's borrow a leaf from some of these templates. All right, when you borrow a leaf from some of these templates, you will be able to have a grip on what we are doing electorally and in the judiciary. Because if you lose the judiciary and finally lose the executives, that means the lawmakers don't have anything to say again. All right, they will quickly join them, because the lawmakers are actually between these two arms of government, and when the other two arms of government are already corrupt, then expect little or nothing from the legislature. Thank you so much for staying this far. Please like, share our videos. Don't forget to drop a comment for us in the comment section. If you're watching me for the first time, please tap the subscribe button as well as the notification bell so that you will get to see me when I drop a new update. Wouldn't you love that? See you next time. Bye.